Hello again. We've created a task in the prior video that sends an SMS back and saves the mother's phone number in the database. Let's make things a little more interesting and connect to an external medical system. We're going to use OpenMRS, an open source medical record system, which I installed on my computer at port 8080 in the URL OpenMRS. I've also created for patients, and that's necessary for integration with MOTECH, a special patient identifier type named MOTECH ID. Okay, and I've used that identifier as the identifier for a couple of patients. So if you click on Manage Patients and you search for JA, you'll find Jackie Chan and Jane Doe, and you'll see that their identifier is actually their phone number with a plus. Surprisingly like what we use for SMS sender fields. And funny you should mention, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the Tasks module and change our send response SMS and save phone number task to be a little more interesting. So we're going to edit, and that takes a little while. So let me pause the video and I'll see you in a sec. Okay. We're going to find the patient's name from their phone number in our OpenMRS database. To do that, we're going to add a data source. So we've got a trigger, which is the inbound SMS. Then we're going to add a data source where we're going to select OpenMRS as our source, and we're going to search for a patient, and we're going to look up the patient by its MOTECH ID, which remember is the phone number. And then here we're going to put the sender's blue bubble as the value. We want to find that person. So if we can't find that, it means that the patient doesn't exist in our database. So it's probably invalid. Then notice we have lots of orange bubbles, which correspond to the data that's pulled from OpenMRS by the OpenMRS module, and we're going to use the person display. That's the basically person's name. Let's change the send SMS action to, instead of saying thanks for registering, say thanks for registering, comma, space, person display. So that's going to that's going to create an SMS that's more personalized, right? We now save and enable our task. It's going to take a few seconds. Meanwhile, I'm going to get ready on the UI side on the command line side of things. So remember, we had I had a way to follow what the activity is on the Tomcat server by tailing Catalina.out. So this is what's in this large horizontal window, and then this is the window where I pretend I'm sending an SMS using the curl command that you see. So I'm waiting for the task to be saved. I'm going to pause the video and resume when it's done. Okay, the task was saved and enabled, and I'm going to pretend to send an SMS again. Arrow up, curl, and you can see what's happening on on the debug window, you can see we received an SMS, and it's a little sluggish. Let's see what's going on. What are we seeing here? Click here, click history, and well, it says that the action was performed correctly a few seconds ago. So let's go back to our oh, there you go, it's doing it right now. So oh, and I just heard my cell phone ring with, look at that, thanks for registering, Jane Doe. We successfully found the patient's name in OpenMRS by her phone number, and we used that in our task for making it a little more friendly. So that's one thing. Yay, we're happy about that, but let's make life a little more interesting. Not only are we going to do the same stuff, so respond an SMS and save the phone number in our database, but we also want to tell the people at the clinic that one of their new moms enrolled in the SMS lactation aid campaign. We're going to do something with the OpenMRS database. So we could add in our task, we could add yet another action, but you could also, just to make things a little more interesting, we could also create a new task. So let's do that. I'm going to pause the video, it's a little sluggish. I'm on a really slow computer. Okay, let's call this task create, oh, look at that, encounter on incoming SMS. Same thing, we're going to do something when we receive an SMS. We're going to add two data sources. One is from this special source called MOTECH Commons, and the special object called Platform Commons. And note that without doing anything, we get those three bubbles. This is because we want to be able to use the current date time to pass to OpenMRS. Then we're going to add another data source. This time we're going to search again for our patient by her phone number. Look up MOTECH ID, fail when object is not found, and the MOTECH ID is the sender's phone number. There you go. And then we're going to add our action, and the action is going to be to use the OpenMRS channel. The action is create an encounter, which is a concept in OpenMRS to denote that something's happening with a patient. So this is where we use the date time now Platform Commons value. So we're going to put that here. The encounter type is a special type that we created. So if you look at administration, manage encounter types, I created a new encounter type that says lactation SMS enrollment. And note that there's a barely seeable UUID, which I copied here in encounter type. And same thing for an encounter. An encounter is always between a patient and a provider. And I also created a special provider, because in that case it's just the SMS system. So if you look at managed providers, you'll see that there's one that I call lactation SMS program, and same thing here. There's this, barely legible UUID that I also prepared here. So we're going to use these values here. So let's first copy the encounter type and paste that in the encounter type edit box. The location name is not necessary. The patient UUID is what we're going to use from the patient lookup we just did. So see how you have patient UUID? I'm going to use that and drag it right here. And then the provider UUID, again, as we just discussed, is this guy. And we paste that here. All right. We save and enable our module. There you go. And we're going to check things out. So now notice we have two tasks, and we go to the same, I'm going to put a little space, we go to the same two screens and note what's going on. So since I just created, let's do a Jane Doe, let's change the phone number to that of Jackie Chan, 555-1212. Okay, so let's pretend now Jackie Chan is sending us an SMS. Hit enter. I can see that we've just received an incoming SMS on the config named Frankie with the from number of Jackie Chan. And then it takes a little while for the round trip to OpenMRS. There's going to be two round trips to OpenMRS. One for finding out her name and sending the SMS in the first task, and then one for, again, finding that same patient by her phone number, but then using her patient UUID to, I can see a few errors. What's going on? What's going on? What? Oh, this is an error from our SMS provider. Of course, they can't send an SMS to that number because that's not a valid number. But let's, so we don't care about that. I won't be receiving an SMS on my phone because this is not my phone number. This is 555-1212. But let's still look at the result from our second task. We can look at that and first look at the history, and hey, look at that, action was performed correctly. But how do we know that? Well, we know that by click on find a patient, and we look for Jackie Chan, and we look at her visit and check it out. She was just enrolled today in the lactation SMS enrollment. So that's great. We just from MOTECH received an SMS, looked up something in OpenMRS, and then did something, told someone in a clinic to do something about it. I think it's great and awesome. There you go. Bye.